Yo, Eddie Hearn says that he would love to make Demetrius Andrade versus PBC fighter David Benavidez. I'll give you my thoughts in this video. Stay tuned. What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Let's jump right into the mix. I want to talk about this. Listen, quick preamble. You know, I got to say my piece. Disclaimer. Now, some people have asked me what my thoughts are on Demetrius Andrade possibly fighting Demetrius Andrade. I run boxing, so yes, I've heard about it. I've heard the news. This is what Eddie Hearn had to say. Quote, "We would be willing to go straight into a David Benavidez fight now. If he likes that fight, happy to discuss it and would love to get that made." This is what Eddie Hearn said regarding a potential fight with PBC fighter David Benavidez. Now, some people have hit me up and say, oh, why aren't you talking about this? Very simple. Exhibit A. Can Eddie Hearn run his business without mentioning PBC Premier Boxing Champions fighters? Really analyze this. How many fights has he mentioned versus manifested? Who cares if you mention, can you manifest? Hearn talks about Charlo versus Andrade, Benavidez versus Andrade. At one point, he talked about Gervonta Davis versus Tevin Farmer. Now, I respect Demetrius Andrade. If he's moving up to 168, amazing. That's great. He's looking for opportunities. But the biggest thing is Eddie Hearn has not been able to secure his Black American fighters really any big fights. So Devin Haney is hanging on by a wire. Will he get George Kambosos? Danny Jacobs is fighting this weekend in the UK, and not many Americans, where Danny Jacobs is from, even know about it. Same thing with Demetrius Andrade. Demetrius Andrade, simply put, has not been able to get any of the marquee fights, despite DAZN having plenty of names that would have made great legacy building compelling fights for Andrade. Canelo, Triple G, baby, and hell no, guys, right? Hey, Max, everybody's punch is not, right? He hasn't got none of these fights. So my time, I don't know if you guys think this is a joke. My time is money. I really take what I do seriously, and we taking the channel to a whole nother stratosphere and a whole nother level. So that's why I'm not gonna keep this video too long. Demetrius Andrade, I wish him well, but Eddie Hearn has not been able to. He just links his fighters' names to PBC fighters, but not one of these fights have happened. You know, Anthony Joshua, Deontay Wilder. So until that point where he actually gets one of those fights across the line, then I'm not convinced, and I'm not going to spend so much time talking about it. If David Benavidez and Demetrius Andrade love the fight and they can make the fight, great, make the fight. I will watch it, I will pay for it. I think it's a great fight, but I'm not here to waste any time. To me, it's a pipe dream. He hasn't made the Charlo fight with Andrade. Andrade can't even get people on his own side. So what makes me believe that Andrade, if he can't get guys that are aligned with his DAZN company, Triple G, Caleb Smith, Billy Joe Saunders when he was there, anybody, Danny Jacobs, Canelo, any of those people, then what makes me believe, when there's no precedence for it, that Andrade is going to be able to get Charlo or David Benavidez? So that's why I haven't really spent much time talking. I see all the news. I am boxing, so I see it. But until they can show, like, just look at Andrade's run at 160. They have not gotten him any big fights that he needs that would really solidify him and catapult him. He's better off being a free agent and doing like Canelo and trying to work with everybody and see what he could come up with that way. But I haven't seen the vision. I haven't seen the direction. I want to see Andrade get top fights, but it's up to him and his team and his promoter to manifest some of it. And the fact, as I keep mentioning throughout this video, the very fact that his team, Eddie Hearn, his promoter, is not getting him bomb fights. Like, how was Andrade scheduled to fight against Billy Joe Saunders? Saunders failed a DRUG test, and then they never rescheduled that fight. And keep in mind, when Saunders and Andrade were scheduled to fight, Saunders was with Frank Warren. So that was harder to make at that given time because they had different promoters. Now, at one point, you know, Saunders left Frank Warren and went to Eddie Hearn, and they still never made the fight. Instead, Canelo beat up Saunders and took his O and things like that. So I don't really care about David Benavidez versus Andrade because it's not looking likely. Until you guys can tell me and show me what fight that Eddie Hearn made with a PBC marquee fighter, not no mandatory, but a marquee PBC fighter and one of his DAZN fighters, then to me it's cap. So I give people enough rope and they can do what they want. They can make something out of it and, you know, build a bridge, or you can hang yourself with it. It doesn't matter. Like, I give you the opportunity to fail, and that's what Eddie Hearn has done. He has failed in the American market. He's failed to give Andrade and Black American fighters any significant fights that are memorable. That's why Canelo's saying stuff. You're a horrible fighter, horrible. You fight nobody. That's what Canelo said, right? And Eddie Hearn hasn't helped this process and given Andrade a big fight opportunity to change that stigma. So I'm not really interested in the Benavidez fight. If they negotiate and make the fight, amazing. But you're gonna have to show me that, and you're gonna have to prove that to me. And I'm out. The future is now. The Hibernation 5s by Kenichi Bear. Hybrid gaming and lifestyle headphones. Out of the box, you can connect to any console or PC. Bluetooth ready with a low latency USB adapter, color RGB, and extreme bass mode. The Hibernation 5s adjust to you. Whether you need a gaming, travel, gym, or lifestyle headphones, the Hibernations got you covered. The new Hibernation 5s, link in the description. Customize the way you hear the world. Welcome to the nation. Are you tired of your YouTube videos not getting any views? Well, consider TubeBuddy. I've used TubeBuddy for years to scale up my YouTube channel. Now we're sitting over 200,000 subscribers. TubeBuddy is a browser extension that offers a ton of built-in productivity and time-saving services to take your channel to the next level. Use my link in the description to get started with TubeBuddy and level up your channel faster.